Hello and welcome back to the channel, and as you can see I'm undercover at last, and it is raining, but just means I can continue doing some work on Mrs Winn. So let's get started. As you can see, she is running, so let's put that on and put that on. Indicator there, repeater flashing away nicely. Let's go out front and have a look, and there you go, all her lights are working and there doesn't appear to be any leaks from the cooling system, so all good. So we are back up to running order. So let's go and knock her off, shut the bonnet, see what we're doing next. Right, the gazebo has been supplied by Ricky himself, and yes, it's a decent size one, so I can get the car right underneath it and pull it forward, as you can see, because I don't need to worry about under the bonnet at the moment now, so we're kind of all good there. But there is some work I need to do here, so as you can see, pulled her forward. Now if I want to, if the rain gets too much, there is another curtain, whether I want it with it windows or with a zippy front, which I might put the zippy bit in actually, so I can keep myself nice and dry and stop any weather getting through. So I didn't need to put that side up, there's no point with it being up against the wall, but it is going to keep me dry ish. Yeah, thank you very much, boss. See, he does care about me really. So basically I can now start doing some of the bodywork that I wanted to attend to. So if we come and have a look, there's a little bit of bubbly going on this door. So the passenger door, front door, there is a tiny little bubble there which I can linish out. I don't think that I need to do any welding there, but I've got a feeling I will do here. This is the worst panel that I need to address, so I've got the paint, but I think I said in another video earlier on that I might just do a bottom half respray. So I'll take it basically to the underside of the coach line and go all the way along. It just depends on how my paint blends in. Obviously, yes, we've done the front of it, which doesn't look too bad, so I will just give you a sneak peek. So it doesn't look too bad. I mean, the match that went, I come all the way up to here and it's fairly, can't really tell, so I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. So hopefully we will get a good match. Obviously the bonnet needs to be resprayed. Now I will say that this is the original paint on the bonnet, but not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it's bubbled here, it's crazed there and gone through to the primer. There's bits there I literally cannot polish out, and obviously I don't really want to be taking her out on show, and she's all different, and she is, like I say, it's slightly different shade of brown there. So that is the original paint, as well as the roof. Now the roof is okay, so I am going to leave the roof alone, and also the boot lid. That's still the original paint, although slightly a different colour, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that at this stage because it is still in really good condition. So I don't really want to be messing with panels that I don't need to. So, but now I can now concentrate getting this side, get it finished off, and now with the car being mobile, I can then turn it round afterwards and finish this side off, which I done ages ago. I think it was last year, I think, maybe a couple of weekends. I need to fit me fuel flap back on because I took it off just in case it needed to be matched up. I can't remember what I've done this with, whether I've done a rattle can on that arch as well, because that's also been repaired. And it is bubbling a little bit here and there. The same as the bottom of the doors as well. The bottom corner there and the bottom of this door Yee, that's crusty. So yeah, looks like I'll need to get some metal on that and do some welding on that as well. So but hopefully, you know, nothing too drastic, nothing too bad. But that is really about all as much as I need to do on the car, I think. Yeah, she really isn't far off getting out and about, and I still haven't found me bloody mirrors. Right, let's get this door linished off and let's see what we got. So with that linished off, bottom of the doors there where it had scabbed up, to my surprise there are no holes. I think really all I'll need to do, it's all okay there, all I'll need to do really is basically just treat that rust to make sure it doesn't come through, and prime it up and spray it. So I'm really happy with that. That seems really good. Yeah, obviously that's just dust I've created there, so that's okay. Obviously once these doors are painted, and obviously this wheel arch, I can then put the chrome trim back on. So yeah, quite happy with that. And look at that, I just got splashed then and I didn't get wet, and it's still raining. So obviously today I won't be doing any spraying, because that is the last thing I want to do, because the compressor will suck in moisture and send it straight down the airline. And I'm not sure if you've looked on any previous videos when I did the Ambassador, the Mighty White. I've still yet to do it. The sunroof panel, you will have noticed that has micro blistered, and that is one of the things that causes that, is moisture in the airline. So obviously today I won't be doing any spraying whatsoever, but at least I can continue to work, get this rust treated, and this surface rust treated, and get it primed up ready to spray. But what I will do is I've got a rattle can with some russet browning, and what I'll do is just give that a quick going over. That way then it will stop any water getting on top of it before I can actually rub it down and spray it properly. So now that the doors have been treated to a little bit of rust treatment stuff, I can actually now concentrate on sorting out this rear arch. Now as you can see, I don't know if you can pick that up there is a line there where the filler or the primer reacted way back when. So basically now I'm going to take this back as far as I can and get it all smoothed out and ready for painting. So I'm going to start with a 600 grit wet and dry. Obviously using it wet with some soapy water, and that just helps. I've repeated it many times, it just helps it glide. Now as before, I don't want to be going that way, because the only pressure points I'll be putting is my fingers. So basically it's always across your fingers that way. Right. This might take a while, so I'll be back in a bit. So as you can see, there's still a little bit of a line there, so I basically just want to get rid of that, as I have done along here where the same thing happened. So it's just a case of going nice and steady. I'm not worried about that, because once it's primed, and the 2-pack paint will go over anything. And my lovely assistant has just bought me a cup of coffee. Splendid. Bless her. So not much really to record, so once I'm done with this, I'll pick up the camera once again. So I'm guessing then I may have gone a little bit too heavy on the primer last time, and probably in between coats I didn't give it time to settle. But as you can see now, I've broke through the brown paint that I put on there on this side of that line there where it's separated. So all I need to do is keep sanding until that brown line there disappears. So now that's all rubbed back and feels fairly flat. Don't feel to be any high spots or low spots in there. So I'm just going to give this a quick rub over now with a bit of panel wipe and give this a little coat of primer. So that's had a couple of very light dustings of primer. Didn't want to go on too heavy in one go. Basically I just want it dusting on there so it adheres properly and it doesn't react to anything that's maybe underneath. Maybe just to give it a little couple of more coats there just to build that up a little bit, and that's how light I've gone with it. You can still see some brown poking through there. At the bottom here, bottom of the door there, so that's been had the rust treatment on it. Basically now that that's primered, I can give that a little tiny skimmer filler. So while I'm still under here nice and dry, I can continue mix a little bit of filler up and just take out these low spots. Like I say, I don't need to go too mad with those doors, simply because it was just a bubble that had been left and water had built up underneath it, and it's blown out. So hopefully the other side will probably be just the same with a little bit of luck. So we'll see how we get on. So the gazebo had to come down simply because it was getting a little bit windy, and we didn't want it blowing over and damaging any cars. So where are we at? Right, so it's been a couple of days now. Yes, as you can see, that looks blooming awful, but a little bit of gloss was just put over the top of the filler because the weather had turned a little bit nasty on us. So it was a case of abandon ship. But luckily the filler's nicely dry. It's been a good couple of days, so now all I'm going to do now is just linish that back off. Some of it at the bottom of the doors I'll do with a detail sander, just because it's nice and flat. However, the rear arch I will do mostly by hand, just so I can get it nice and even. So just pull the doors open slightly because I don't want to be hitting the sill, and I'm just using a 180 grit pad on there, and we'll just do it nice and light. Quick feel there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Nice and smooth. There we go, simple as that. That's now ready to be washed off. Just pull a little bit of the filler off there, which I'll do with fine wet and dry, because I don't want to take too much paint off the door. And on to the back one. Yep, I'm happy with that, but what I will do is just take it back a little bit further there as where the paint stopped. I did this with the grinder, but I just need to feather this in a little bit because I can actually feel that, and that will show through on the paint. So that's nicely feathered back, can't feel nothing there, and the same along here and there. That feels pretty good. So I'll just get the underside of that. Yeah, that all feels quite good, and then we can get this ready, rub down, and get it ready for paint at least. But I don't think I'll be painting tonight. It might be a little bit too much moisture in the air. We'll see how we get on. So one of the reasons why I like to put a little bit of gloss over the top of primer and filler is for when I'm flattening it back, I can see where the high spots and low spots are. So these here, that would be a low spot with a couple of high spots, and that there is a really high spot. Obviously that's where I'd scoop the filler, so as you can see there. So as long as I get this all nice and uniform, we'll be able to get that ready for paint. So I'm happy with those doors. Basically now, before I prep it for painting, I'll just give them a rub down before putting the gloss on. I will just, I don't know where to, probably just do a test piece on those bottom of the doors to see how the paint matches, because if I don't need to spray panels, I'd rather not. So we'll see how things go with that. Okay, so the wheel arch there where a lot of the filler was, focus, yeah, all that's okay. There is a few little edges along here I'll need to do a little bit more work on, so I've put a high build of primer there so to make it all stand out, and then I can flat it back. And the same just on this, I've just touched that, and the same on this part of the wheel arch there. Just need to do a little bit more work to get it nice and smooth, but it's just a case of let this dry off now, so probably do this another night and we'll pick up the video from there. So I've been doing a little bit of work here and there of a night, just dodging between showers and obviously repairing this wheel arch. I have had a little bit of trouble with the primer. For some strange reason it kept reacting, so I've had another little go at it tonight, and I thought, right, let's just mix up a little bit of brown and see how it turns out. I'm quite happy with that. There is a little tiny one of them pesky little seeds that's just settled on it. The paint is dry-ish. Yeah, it's dry, but I don't want to go taking that off just yet, because basically as soon as you do, I'm going to start spoiling the paint that's there. So as usual, anything that gets in your paint, I mean, I am spraying outside, so it can't be helped. It is just a case of leave it alone, wait till it's dry, and then basically just flick it off, but I ain't going to do it just yet. So what I have done, I've sprayed up to the coach line, and obviously I've polished that top part again. So I'm now just in two minds as to whether, when I do the bottoms of the doors, obviously I've put a little bit of brown on there for the time being, just to use up what was in my gun, and obviously I don't want to leave primer settling, especially if it's going to rain, because it is quite porous. So I don't know whether I need to do the whole of the bottom of the doors. I mean, obviously if I can help not doing it. The match isn't too bad at all. Obviously it is going to fade a little bit during the winter because it's going to be left out, so it's all going to want polishing up again come next year anyway. So obviously this is all covered in dust, and it does need polishing up anyway. So I think for the time being I'm going to leave well alone these doors for now anyway, and just see how this settles over the next couple of days. Obviously it will lose some of its sheen and its depth as the sun gets on it and things like that. And the good thing about the Princess is you've got this line that runs along the side that's quite angular, and it does give you a totally different shade in the sun anyway, but that's not looking too bad at all. I'm quite impressed with that. And that was basically just 2 light coats sprayed at a really high pressure. This is one I follow, Bad Chad. He's got his YouTube channel over in Canada, I think it is, and I've took a lot of tips from him, you know, with the way he does things. It's always good to see how other people do things, and you take out what you take what you like and then throw the rest away that you don't like. And one of the things that he does spray at very high pressure and has the paint really thin. So in the way of orange peel, considering I've sprayed outside, that's a real good finish. I'm really impressed with that. So I am, if I can get that finish all the way along the side, I'm tempted to spray the whole bloody car, if I'm honest. But obviously why waste paint when you don't necessarily need to? So what I will do is polish up these doors again anyway, and then we'll see how it looks. And then we'll take it from there, I think. So I decided on a full gone blowover down the bottom of the doors there, up to that coat stripe. Yeah, obviously I don't need to worry about overspray. That's really nicely waxed, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it was just a case of the bottom of those doors there didn't quite look right. I have got a couple of little runs which I'm not worried about because I can buff them out later on. But at least now all the doors are completely one colour down to this front wing. So the wing is a little bit faded, so I think maybe on the next run I'll put some paint on the bottom of that. I could probably do that now actually. Just mask up that coat stripe and indicator there, mask up the bumper, because I don't need to come all the way to here down the front, simply because that's already been painted. I just want to try and lose some of that colour, but like I said, it does fade, so I might just leave that, see how it goes for now, and give it a couple of days once the weather's got at it and all that. But it basically now means I can put that trim on, blacken the sill, and that's this side basically done as much as I want to be done. So I can then concentrate, do the other side, which, you know, as things are going, as long as the weather plays ball, is not going to take very long. And then I can get it back under the gazebo and sort this bonnet out. Yeah, shame how that's gone, but there's a lot of micro blisters in there as well. Yeah, just up here, I don't know if the camera's picking them up. But yeah, it has, I don't know if you can see that, but it has crazed as well. So yeah, it's faded in places as well, so it's obviously had a respray at some point, and you can see there that that line there has faded a darker brown. So yeah, cool. At least now get a running, turn around, concentrate on the other side, and we'll just leave that now for a couple of days to settle. So yeah, all good, I'm happy. And there we go, that's the trim on, tyres cleaned up a little bit, and the wheels cleaned up a little bit. Doesn't she look smart? I think I'm quite happy with that. As you can see there, she's now the other way around, minus her fuel flap. Need to put that back on. Anyway, right, so that's the passenger side almost done. So all that's left for me to do really is now start on this driver's side. So before I go, I will show you what I need to do. Okay, so I don't need to worry about the front passenger door on the rear door on the driver's side is actually okay. Tiny little scab at the bottom, same thing as on the other side. This wheel arch, I think going back a couple of years when I first started the repairs, I'd just done this with a rattle can. It looked okay at the time, but now that it's weathered, it's gone a little dark. So again, I'll be spraying the whole of this side on the bottom of the doors. Tops of the doors are actually okay, you know, there's nothing for me to worry about there. Driver's door, I have poked a little bit of a hole here, which, to be fair, it's understandable, but it's not too bad. A little bit of surface rust here and there, maybe it's gone through a little, maybe it hasn't, but if I need to, it'll just be the usual case, cut that out, weld in a new bit of metal, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. And then what I'll do, obviously, I'll take that chrome trim off because I don't want to get any paint on it. What I've done with the other side is I've deleted the rubber, because once water does get into these, that's what rots out the sill. So I'll be leaving that rubber trim off on purpose, and I'll be putting the black mastic over the top instead. Not a lot to do, providing I can get a good couple of evenings weather-wise. Maybe a good day, you know, take a holiday from work and spend a day on it. This won't take very long at all, but I will document it. and then it'll be a case of putting the gazebo up and getting this bonnet done. Roof is okay. I think I've already said this. The roof is okay. I don't need to worry about that too much. Do need to repair my trim. And yeah, then it'll just be a case of get underneath, re-underseal it or stone chip, and that's it. So that's all from me in this video. I've just got to tidy up now. So don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below. We do respond to all comments when we get round to it, but we will get round to it. And so yeah, that's about as much as I can do for tonight and in this video. So as usual, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye now. Mwah.